gamingfreak.com. Hello! Welcome again to another weapon spotlight. So as you may notice, it's another combat rifle spotlight. The title might give it away. So here we have the prototype assault variant of the combat rifle. And what you'll notice is it is fairly potent, especially at close range. Here I'm not running with a squad, so I'm running solo here, a bit lone wolf / lone ranger style. So I'm choosing not to run in and be overly aggressive with this weapon, because the suit does cost 195k. I'm more kind of trying to figure it out, trying to get used to the weapon, how it works, etc. Get used to its optimal ranges and all that jazz. So here I'm just taking out these guys and starting to realize that this is quite a good weapon at close range. My thoughts are, at a close range, if you can keep this weapon trained on the enemy and sustain the fire onto the target, what you'll find is this weapon is extremely powerful. Has a 1,200 rounds per minute, which is pretty impressive. It's pretty rapid, and it is designed for close quarters. I mean, you're not going to find this being used for long range, 70 meters and up. It's more up to 70 meters maximum, but generally speaking you're going to be engaging the enemy well within that range for it to at least be effective. What you'll notice here, even though this guy is in a medium frame, coming up the stairs in a second, he's using the burst variant of the combat rifle, which is also extremely potent. As I'm getting used to this, I'm still not used to it. This is the first game where I used it. It wasn't overly accurate, but it did the job. It's quite forgiving in that respect. Also, you'll notice I'm using a scanner, so I put this onto my Logi suit purely because I'm running solo in this match, so I want to be able to see what's coming. I won't have anyone telling me where the enemy is or where they think they might be, etc., or where they're getting shot from. I have to work it all out myself, so hence the scanner. So it allows me to sneak up on people, which again brings me to the tactics of actually using this weapon. I find that this weapon is very good, not so much when wading into enemies being wrapped by a Logi. It's still good at that, but the amount of times you have to reload is quite significant, which gives the enemy a lot of time to move up on your position and to outflank you, etc., which we've tried, and that's what we found was the case, especially against a good side. However, here when you use it more as a skirmishing kind of hit and run tactic or extremely close range, you can really do some damage. Another thing to note though, as you might have just seen, is emptying a clip with this weapon, as well as the level 4 variant, the BK-42 I think it is so easy to just empty an entire clip whilst just trying to kill one person if you miss slightly. So if you miss slightly, that's a lot of rounds that are missing with that rapid rate of fire, so it's kind of a double-edged sword in that respect. Like here you'll see me being quite careful, because I'm moving into a much closer combat situation, and those of you who know me will know that I prefer a bit more range on my weapons, but I must say actually out of the two combat rifles I do prefer this one. I'm not sure, I think it's a bit more forgiving in terms of just the spray and pray aspect. That's a pretty cool ragdoll effect there. I'm loving the new ragdoll effects, and I've got some great ones coming up with the rail rifle spotlight that is pretty cool. So here you see I'm moving into the city, but not overexposing myself. It's probably because I'm being a bit of a scaredy cat with the old 200k ISK suit, which is quite a lot, especially when you're running solo. It's quite easy to die when you're running solo, so this match I was being a little bit more careful. But then again, that brings into effect the usefulness of the skirmish tactics with this. I mean, if you run it with a scout suit, I reckon these weapons could be very good for skirmishing. Run around the outside, pick off people with have a scanner, make it back to an ammo supply quite quickly, stock up, head back out, pick people off as they're trying to move between targets, and ultimately just cause a lot of hassle and divert the enemy's attention. Kind of like how the Flaylock used to be, in terms of you could run through an enemy position and fire rounds of Flaylock, which would be immensely fire some Flaylock rounds, sorry, which would be immensely damaging at that time when it was a bit over the top. But it would divert everyone's attention, and I think that tactic has since been kind of ignored with scouts. But I think this tactic, in terms of a slightly more standoff approach, within 50 meters, and move quickly to another location and then hit again and then hit again and again in different areas, I think could be a nice little tactic, especially with these weapons, both combat rifles. Although this one as a Logi support weapon is also very good. So in a squad where you're backing up the team, if someone does get too close, as you're hanging back, you can let this weapon loose, and it will tear through your average suits, which is definitely what you want. So again, using it at a close range as an area denial weapon is also quite useful because of the high rate of fire. It does enable you to suppress, to put down suppressing fire. So even some scouts, I reckon, or a couple of guys with this weapon, and even the combat, the burst variant, could be quite potent in terms of disallowing or not allowing enemies into an area simply because there's so many rounds coming through the door. The only problem there with that tactic is the simple fact that it's so easy to run out of ammo with these weapons, as you can probably see. And again here you'll see, even though it's extremely powerful, you have to pick your fight well. I mean, this heavy takes ages to die, even though he doesn't have that much health, and it's point blank and in the back. So you've also got to consider where you're aiming on people. I mean, that's the same with any rifle, but I think in this case it can be if you miss at all with this high rate of fire, as you'll see here, that's a lot of bullets that miss just in that short second. That's quite a few rounds. That's a lot of damage that isn't making it through to the enemy's drop suit or vehicle or whatever it is that you want to add some damage onto. However, going back to the skirmishing aspect, if you have a vantage point with this weapon, if people are standing still or you've got a good aim, this weapon is extremely potent at that very close range, or even within 70 meters. It's what I found with the optimal. That's what I found was the most favorable. But bear in mind, I don't have skills in the sharpshooter. If you have skills in the sharpshooter, then obviously that range will go up because the spread becomes tighter. So this guy manages to get away just on 0 armor, which I have no idea how that's possible, but apparently it is. He only just survives, but I kill him again in a second. Well, not again, kill him in a second. Yeah, so also for holding points, I think this weapon is quite good as a kind of camping weapon, which can work well again with the scout. I think this is going to be very good for fast-moving troops. These combat rifles. Other than that, I think the general the general use for this can be extreme suppressing fire in an area, because when you get clipped with this weapon, it can do an extreme amount of damage. This guy didn't even want to come outside because he knew I was up there. Either that or he was just doing something weird. I'm not sure, but anyway. So let me know what you guys think about the old combat rifles. What tactics you guys like to use, if it's different or if I'm right or wrong, please tell me. Please remember to like, favorite and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and let me know what else you guys would like to see. Thanks guys, bye.